Welcome to our podcast, Discover Your Strengths. I'm your host, Kramer. This is my co-host, Jose. Jose has given me a book called Discover Your Clifton Strengths.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to be diving into today. We're going to be finding out what my strengths are.
Your top 5.
Yeah. So let's get to it. Saying it focuses on your strengths rather than how to improve your
Yeah, maybe let me give you some background information.
Yeah,
so
perfect.
Dr. Clifton, he grew up in sort of an environment where psychologists really focus on, okay, if you're really weak on empathy, this is an example,
For sure.
how can we train you to have more empathy? And corporate America was really focused on things like that, like, oh, let's train someone that's lacking empathy on empathy and all that stuff. But he realized there's only like a cap, a limitation of how much empathy someone that is not naturally empathetic could like learn to have. And same thing with anybody who's not very strong in data analysis. You can give them a few math courses and it's going to help them, but there's going to be a limitation to how much math they want to actively do their job.
Yeah, for sure.
So what he said is, hey, instead of focusing on everybody's weaknesses and trying to like cover those up, why don't we focus on their natural, innate personality talents? Because you can, again, with empathy, there's a cap to how much non-empathetic a person can become. But if you're naturally strong in mathematics, or I use mathematics, the real talent is called, or the theme is called analytical.
Yeah.
If a company invests, if that's one of your natural talents, and a company invests into that talent by giving you more certifications, coaching, training, development, things like that, your potential for that can skyrocket a lot more than, oh, you like empathy, Timmy? Here, let's take you to empathy conference.
Yeah.
So that's the whole philosophy of his approach, and I really like it because I think, again, I feel like when you invest in the things that you're naturally good at, you're going to get a high return of investment on those things than if you force yourself to be someone you're not. And I think that your professional and personal life gets better for it too.
Yeah. I've seen you really start to focus on those recently too.
Yeah.
What I'm excited about is we've talked about what we feel our strengths are and what we feel our strengths are in our friend group. We've
Yes.
also focused on our weaknesses in a lot of discussions.
Yeah.
So I think I know a couple of my strengths, but you said you took the test, and one of your strengths, which is competitiveness.
Competition is the theme.
Competition. And he is so competitive. But it wasn't in your top 5.
Nope,
it was 9.
It was my top 9, yeah.
Out of 34.
Out of 34, which, again, it's good that's even a top 10.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, it's like when I was talking to one of my mentors, I was like, it has to be number 6.
Yeah.
Because, again, I am a very competitive person. But though there are actually some interesting ones, I was like, oh, that isn't a good number 6 for me, and a good number 7, and a good number 8. And then finally competition was my number 9.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, okay, it is a top 10 still, but I was kind of interested actually in some of the ones that are in between, 5 and 9.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, actually, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Was communication or mediation, was that one of them?
Communication, yeah. So actually, if you want to cheat a little,
I haven't read the book yet.
Yeah, no, he hasn't
so
read it
I
all.
probably read it, but like I think I'd rather take the test before I read the book.
Yes, because then you kind of have an idea of like, not that. So one thing for the audience, if you do buy the book and you do it yourself, is that unlike other personality tests, empathy tests, for lack of a better word, where you can try to cheat. You're not really Gryffindor, but you know what a Gryffindor would say to make yourself Gryffindor.
I've taken the test to be Slytherin before. I know what you're talking about.
With the test here, you get like a few 12, 15 seconds, which is not a lot of reading, so don't be afraid if you're a slow reader. But you get a few initial seconds to have the initial gut reaction of what you are,
Yeah.
and you go forward. So you can't, it's really good at taking out the cheaters that are trying to be like, well, I think I'm really, I think discipline should be my number one strength. And it's not.
I'm nervous about that because I know I've taken some tests like this before, but you have plenty of time to think about it. And the more you think, the more you like start to convince yourself
that you're something you're not.
Because it's something you want to be. But you know right off the bat if it's something you're good at or not. But the more you think about it, then the more you're like, well, I want to be like that. You might not think that, but you definitely start thinking of the small things that make you feel like you're that way.
Yeah.
But that's not in reality what you are.
And again, that's why a lot of people are like, oh man, that's a little bit amount of time for questions, because they want your initial gut reaction. Because that reaction is your true self, not the self that you would want to be.
Yeah.
And so that's why they're really good at kind of weeding out the cheaters,
yeah.
if you will. I'm going to write a few things what I think your top 10 maybe are.
If I knew the list was 34, I would love to rate it. I wish, yeah.
Well, how about this? After you get done with the test,
sure.
Before we see the full results, you can look at the book and then kind of guess and see where you are.
I can guess where I am. And then, I love that. Okay. So you do that. I'm going to get the test set up / started.
Yeah.
And while I'm taking it, you can really think about what I suck at and put those at the bottom.
No, it's what you're good
at.
And
then whatever you're left with is what I'm good at.
It's whatever you're good at. Here's the thing. Like, I know who you are in social settings.
Yeah.
But then there are other things you possess that...
Would you consider our friend group, things that we have to deal with in the apartment, would you consider that a social setting?
Oh, when we have our... I consider any time we sit down and play Magic a social setting.
Oh, okay.
I consider any time we have to do our... so far we've done 3, our roommate meetings, a social setting.
Yeah, okay.
Anytime we go out to eat or go bowling, social setting. So, like, it's how you interact with the group dynamics.
So all of the attributes are right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I read all of them, I'm able to, when I meet someone that has that theme,
yeah,
I kind of know, because at the end of every little section, it tells you if you work with people like this is how you best interact with them.
Oh, that's
very
helpful.
cool.
Cheat
that's
codes.
very cool.
All right. I'm about to start taking it, so please stop talking to me.
Yeah.
Gosh. Just kidding. All right, let's see. Take it from a time. Oh, okay. Take this. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm nervous.
I'm only going to help you in the first two just to make sure you understand the scale.
Yes.
After that, you're good. You're on your own.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So smartness, intelligence is probably not my top 5 if you're trying to help me right away.
No.
No, it's cool. Now I know what's not in the top 5.
Everyone makes mistakes, okay? Like.
Yeah. I'll be right back because it's confidential and I don't know what kind of stuff you're gonna ask me.
177 questions.
177 questions?
You have 20 seconds to respond to each one, so it's better than 12.
But still, 35 minutes. My primary language is English. That's the first disclosed question.
Is it USA or UK though?
Okay, so intelligence was probably your 6th or 7th then.
What?
I'm just saying that was a stupid question. Okay.
Would you like to guess what intelligence was? Or no, it's not called intelligence. It's intellection.
I gotta go with top 5.
It is.
Okay, do I have to guess which one?
No.
I want to say 1, but like that seems too obvious, so I'm gonna go with 2 or 3.
It was mine 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
I felt like because it was too obvious, it was probably gonna be something that. Yeah. Which is interesting. I'm curious to see what your passionate lovemaking maybe for number 1. Would that be it? I'm just saying I have a roommate, so.
Oh my God.
I'm a male.
Are you?
I am not Hispanic.
No.
I know, this is all secretive. I love... What the heck? It seems like the most racist thing ever.
How do you think I feel when I say
your race.
I'm Hispanic?
Actually, I'm gonna show this. This is extremely racist.
Everyone has seen this. Have you ever done a job application?
I actually haven't done one for such a long time.
Oh.
So I guess everyone's seen this already, but like, identify your race. White, not Hispanic or Latino. Don't worry. Okay. series of 177 paired descriptors. From each pair, select the descriptor that best fits you and to the extent of which it does so. There will be instances when both of the descriptors fit you. Choose the descriptor that seems to fit you the best or more often. The assessment is timed. You will have 20 seconds to make each choice, so trust your initial response. Here's your sample question. Here's a sample question. Strongly describes me, strongly describes. Oh, I see. I was like, strongly describes me is on both ends. What the hell? Where's the question? It's saying, okay, on this end I read, okay, this is good. I read all the instructions before beginning. I jump into things. I'm already wanting to take time to think about this. In so many instances, crap, I wanted to talk to you about this.
But it's, remember, when you do the real things, it's just 20 seconds.
For
You
this
gotta
one,
go with your
I'm
natural.
going to just like think, okay? Because I honestly, I can click neutral. I honestly
Or if you feel like you do one just a little bit more than the other, you could do that one.
What's hard is things, instructions before beginning. Okay, I guess specifically it's talking about things with instructions.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Or maybe that's how I would kind of do it.
When I see that there's pictures, I tend to go to the pictures unless I need to read. So usually I'll look at the pictures. So I think that it would be more to this then. Pictures aren't instructions.
Yeah.
So that's how I would... And I believe that this begins the first one, yes? I pick out just the right gifts for each of my friends. I give gifts that people would like. I would say I pick out just the right gifts. I want to say strongly.
Okay, next. What? Sorry.
I like spending time with futurists. I like spending time with historians. You know what? I like the past more. I enjoy talking about the past with my sister and stuff. I want everyone to like me. I want people to adore me. What does adore me mean? I like people liking me. I do strongly like that. But I'm not going to just do whatever you want so that you like me. If you don't like me, I don't give a fuck. But I would like you to like me. I strive to win first place. I enjoy playing the game. I like winning, okay? But when it comes to certain games, I'll play so I enjoy it. I'll have my win, you know? I have always worked hard. I am slow but a steady performer. No, you know what? With the stuff I've been doing recently, I'm going to go with work. I haven't always worked hard, so I can't do that. High school, you know? I think about what I do well. I think about what I must improve. Ooh, that's tough. I think about what I do well. I like mentioning things that I've done, albeit over and over and over again. But I would say I also equally look at what I need to... Oh, shit! We have paused the assessment. When you're ready to proceed, click the next button. If you want to suspend the assessment... Okay.
Hit next.
I'm a sensitive person. I'm a logical person. Shit, I hate this.
Hit next.
Oh, good point. I get to know people individually. I accept many types of people. I get it now. I get it. I can't talk. Starting conversations is an effort for me. I get a rush from striking up. It just depends, but usually no. I feel great about life. I feel I am a competent person. I don't understand the competent. I feel great about life. Neutral. I'm a team member. I'm an individual achiever. I think I can make people feel that they are someone important to me. I can make people feel successful. I like pointing out people's... I hate not being able to talk about this, you know? My view of humanity guides my life. My ambition guides my life. I want to say currently my ambition guides my life. Being a confidant to others gives me satisfaction. I want to be a leader. When it comes to being a leader, I'll be forced into a leader position. I'm okay with it. But I'm down for being a confidant and helping people get through stuff. I like to follow a sequence. I love looking at things from different angles. Oh, I'm definitely a different angles person. I can get other people excited. I can calm other... Oh. I can do both, though. Oh, so neutral. I'm going to go with calm for me, calming people down is more important than getting people excited. So once I have made a decision, I have to act. I need to be sure I'm right before I take an action. I feel like I'm going to do this until I feel like I need to do something else. I am fully alive, full of joy and delight. I'm aware of all the factors affecting the situation. Oh, I feel like while I do see things, I don't see every factor, you know?
Right.
But I am happy and usually full of joy. I would say joy. I'm going to hit next now. Fuck. I hit next the second. Stop me from talking, man. What are
I'm
you
sorry.
doing?
I'm sorry.
I want to be a CEO of a large, or no, I am a bridge builder for people. No. Yeah, no, neutral. That's so far off the scales. I sometimes intimidate. I don't intimidate people. Well-known leaders intimidate me. I'm not really, I don't care about that. I can put myself into someone's life and understand what they're going through. I have an ability to love people, all of the people. I can never fully relate to people. I know when I can't, but I do feel like I try to put myself in their perspective. I'm a carefree person. I am more mature than my associates and friends. I'm just kidding. A carefree person. I like to be doing things with others as much as possible. I like to arrange things for other people. For other people without me? I like my alone time. That's why I'm not going 100%. By studying history, I can figure out the future. My future will be independent of my past. Now, that's anybody knows they need to look at their past. Anyway, I am part of something larger than myself. I am an earthy person. I am part of something larger than myself. I think everyone has their main soul. There's. I'm gonna. Okay, it's paused. I need to pause for a second
Yeah, you're good.
because I would love to talk about some of these specific questions, man. I'm sad because two of the ones I had answers. I knew they were the right answers, but I talked too much.
They'll come back, I think.
Okay, that's
It's
good.
177 of them.
It's good. It's good.
They can layer them between questions you
I
asked
feel
before.
okay. That makes me feel good. Some of them is like that last one. I wish I could remember what it was. An earthy person, or
Head in the cloud.
no, it wasn't even a head in the cloud or earthy person. It was just like an earthy person. But the answer though was like I wanted others to. I can't remember now. It was 20 seconds, man. I can't remember that. Okay. I love this. This is fun. I want work to be a way of life for me. Work is just a way to earn a living. I'm really loving what I'm doing right now. I do need to do stuff though. I can't do nothing for a long period of time, you know, even just gaming is I feel blue when someone doesn't like me. I feel guilty when I do anything that I don't think is right. Oh, do you know how many times I say I'm sorry for shit that is not your fault or my fault? I organize, I analyze. I analyze. I'm not an analytical person. Well, I guess in my specific thought process right now, that specific thing, helping people, I'm more analytical. But I can make people feel good by picking out what is important and what they have said. I listen to people so I can make them feel understood. I try to focus on not making them feel good about what they say, but the important stuff, I think. I enjoy making others feel worthwhile. I enjoy making others feel successful. Not everyone is successful, you know? I do want them to know their worth, but not feel fake worthwhile, if that makes sense. I use instinct to solve problems. I use exact, well-researched information. My friends ask me to tell stories. My friends ask my advice. I'm not a storyteller. I follow a written plan for my future. I discover the future one day at a time, different than it before. No, I have things I want to go towards. I relate to others better than when I find their weakness. When I find their weakness, I can relate to others better when I know their goals. Ooh, I need both. I need both. I include everybody so I don't hurt anyone's feelings. I select my friends carefully. Oh, there we go. I enjoy understanding the causes of world wars. I enjoy understanding the people. I enjoy understanding the make-up of the world's population 50 years before.
Hence, yeah.
That's okay. So that's not opposites.
Well, hence it's like,
I like no world. I didn't understand hence exactly.
yeah.
That was why I paused there. And also, like, I enjoy learning about world wars, but I don't remember everything. So it's like,
Well, it's again not saying you're a trivia quiz in World War II.
yeah, I
It's
know.
just enjoying
That's where
reading.
that's where my
yeah.
brain went though. I believe it is an absolute essential to treat all people equally and to have clear rules for people to follow. I believe in discovering what is unique about each person and motivating them. That's tough. I believe it is absolutely essential to treat all people equally and to have clear rules. I can't argue with that. I had to read it, and that was a lot to read.
Yeah.
My thoughts are, I think people, from what I can remember, I think if you have individual and uniqueness, you should be pushed to like go for that. But like, I was thinking on that specific thing, an either or, like 1 out of 10, which one, you know, not like both. And it's hard because most tests are usually 1 out of 10.
Yeah. This is
one-
where it's a interesting aptitude test where it's
Yeah, I like that it can be both, but it's hard to remember. It is both. Okay, let's continue. I am very generous in giving praise. I am selective in giving praise. I don't give fake praise, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, generous feels like it's saying fake. So I am never fully satisfied unless I'm number one in competitions. I'm happy to be among the top group. Yeah, I'm satisfied with my progress in life. I worry about my future. I'm feeling pretty satisfied about my progress currently. Talk to me in January, February, March of next year. I like to talk. I like to think. Even when I think I talk out loud, you know? When I'm by myself, I wear my voice out, and I'm only talking to myself, you know what I'm saying? I'm a perfectionist. I am a person who gets things done. Not a perfectionist. But I don't just have things.
Right.
I seek out people who will be honest with me about my weaknesses. I choose to associate with people who appreciate my strengths. Oh, there we go. I definitely want people to appreciate what I'm good at. Well, not strongly, just like to mention it. I have to take care of myself first. I need to sacrifice. I feel I need to sacrifice for the sake of others. Ooh, that's tough. Friends, specifically people I love. I'm a social butterfly. I like to work hard with friends. I am never at a loss for words. It's hard for me to talk about myself. There are times when I just don't know what to say. But it's not hard for me to talk about myself, you know? I'm a carefree person. Well, I'm a carefree person, I'm a serious person. I feel more... I'm serious about stuff, but like I definitely feel more carefree. I love to study. I live to go out. I do not. Neither. 0. I'm often forgetful. My nature is to check as often as necessary to be sure everything is in order. I'm definitely forgetful. I try to remember to check stuff, but I forget to. So there we go. When things get tough, I need things done perfectly. I tend to jump in to get it done myself. When things get tough and I need things done perfectly, I tend to rely on the strength of people on my team. I'm glad that timed out because I wanted to say something about this type of. One thing about this test I love is that it is fast. You can't second guess or think too much. I've thought a little bit too much and then it goes. Okay. When I don't understand something, then I realize something. I'll second guess. The thing I don't like about this is it's when it comes to the analytical part, the analyzing, the observing part. I don't feel personally that I'm an observer. I feel like in certain situations, I can see what's happening. I can see points of view, but I don't just observe things. When I think of that question, though, and how fast-paced this is, a couple times I have paused myself, if you've heard me say, I want to do that, but I feel this. I feel with this kind of test and it being fast paced, somebody who wants to be something so much, but like for me, I'm like I feel like I have a good line between what I know I am capable of and what I want to be capable of. But some people I don't think will have that, so they'll be answering wrong.
And maybe it's sort of almost like a long-term placebo effect where like you might be decent enough at something that maybe it's not inherently your strength, but if you believe it to be your strength,
Okay.
and if you do the resources on how to grow that strength, maybe you can kind of you can go from 9 to a 6 on it.
9 to 8, 9 to 7. Yeah. Okay, I get what you're saying.
So it's
that was my fear though. Like I feel like I'm pretty good, but like sometimes I'm like I do want to be this way, but I know I'm not yet. But for instance, there was a couple questions. There's the one where you're like, well, it's more like overall. And in my mind, I was like, I get that, but in the last couple months, this is where I've really been pushing towards, and I know that that's not gonna go. I don't feel like that's gonna go away, and so that's why I answered.
That's where like I think for you maybe it's a little difficult because you're transitioning to who. Not only do you want to be, but like who you really feel like you really are. And it's difficult, I think, people in their early 20s to anybody. But if I was to make a general blanket statement, which you know I don't like making those, but I think if you're going through a period of transition, this sort of test will be difficult.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're going from your early 20s to your late 20s, it's almost better to take this maybe later, like 28 in life. Because at that point, you have like you have your niche, you have your quirks, you know more or less. Are you the kind of person that likes to go downtown, at the bars at downtown every weekend, or do you want to stay home and read a book?
Stay home.
By the age of 26, 28, you kind of know the answer to that.
Yeah.
You know, when I was in college, I don't know, like sometimes I did want to go with my college friends. Sometimes I wanted to just study to do better in the exam.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult transition period. Right now, I think you're doing something very different than what you normally have done. Like the whole learning thing, you're like, yeah, well, I was not good at school, but look at all the books you're reading now.
Yeah.
Like look at everything you're doing right now with computers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's a learner.
Point.
Like
I guess I have a specific idea of what's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're in this transition period, but you're right. I feel like even though you say, well, that's what I want to be, but at the same time, I feel like once I become that, I'm not going to change.
Yeah.
Well, that's who you've been. This sounds sort of cheesy and corny, but the belief would be that's who you've been.
What you've been this
whole time. But you never had a job, a career, or a life opportunity to tap into that.
Okay.
Like one thing he says in this is like, how many people have been forced to be salespeople when they could have been the best nurse of all time? One of the anecdotes is like somebody dies and go to St. Peter, and it's in the story when you read it, and they ask St. Peter, who is the greatest general of them all? And he points to a person. It's like that man. And it's like, but that's just a janitor. Yes, but if he would have been a general, he would have been the best general of them all. And so I think that is sort of where like when we're talking about like false, like maybe I want to be this, I'm going to click on that anyway. It's like, okay, fine. But like right now with your thing specifically, just honing on you, it's like, well, I want to be that, but I think I will be that and I won't change. You might have never been that before. Yeah. But because you never had a life opportunity to tap into that. So it's interesting to see how like I've changed a little bit. We talk about this, hinting in a future podcast video. Cool. Talk about like how I felt like throughout the course of my life, of the 5 primary colors of magic, I've gone through ages, right? So when like I was 14, I felt very much green. When we became
I'm not going to include this,
but
sorry. When we talk about our podcast, I did this for such a long time. I'll know once the screen changes. I can,
Gotcha.
I have. I'm not going to include any of this really, because this is more of a you and me conversation. Well, I might include some. Anyway, yes, when we do the magic podcast, and it's going to be a small series because it's.
But with Cliff Finders again, like Command was a top 5 at one point for me.
Yeah.
Now it's a 12, and. I mean, it's still a top 15. Yeah. I think top 5s are obviously you can't hide those whatsoever. Yeah. Like those are the ones you really should try to optimize, because if you optimize those top 5, you're going to get the most job and personal life satisfaction you could possibly have. Then you go to your top 10s, and those are I would consider like your support to your top 5.
Your
Tapping in
third color.
Yeah, well, yeah, like your secondary.
Splashing in a white.
Well, I was
with
gonna
my
say
red deck.
more like your secondary color, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Because like those, like, again, you thought competition was the top 5.
Yeah.
Turns out it's number 9. But clearly, it's poignant enough to
Good
be
point.
to be
Good
there.
point.
You know?
It's your second color.
And then your top 15 is that third splash. It's
I
that
like that. Okay.
touch of.
The next 5.
So command still 12.
Yeah.
It went down 7. Some things I never thought. Oh,
Excuse
sorry.
me.
I never thought would be a top 10 for me are. Honestly, there's one in there that really like initially surprised me because I was like, but then I was like, no, that is a big part of me. The people who know me the best know that. The people who know me the best wouldn't be surprised that's there. But it's just surprising because it doesn't go with anything else.
Yeah.
So, but again, like with Magic, like we talk about the stages of life, and like in college, when I was younger, I felt very much green and red. And I went to college, I felt very much blue and black.
Yeah.
I want to acquire knowledge, and I want to become ambitious. And I still feel black is kind of my primary right now. I obviously, with everything that's going on at work, I'm ambitious, and that's what I'm learning the.
It's hard
edge
to
sort of that.
see black and not think. I see ambitious, but it's like when you think of Slytherin. A lot of people see Slytherin and they're like cunning and deceptive and blah, all the negative things that go with Slytherin, and you forget that they're ambitious too. And that's where it's like black. Whenever you say your main black right now, your main color is black, I'm like, is it though? I don't see you trying to sacrifice other people's like you know.
Yeah.
But then you point out the other things that are like just cards I play, but like actually what the color is, which I need to.
Yeah,
learn
I
again.
got resources for you to look into.
Excited.
That we can watch together.
Oh, another question.
Yeah.
Have you, during my answers, have there been any that I've answered that have just surprised you?
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2? Okay.
Yeah.
Because there is that what people see in you and then what you see in yourself kind of thing.
Yeah, you did make me change an answer.
Tell me about that later.
Yeah.
Okay. Do not, oh.
I'm outgoing.
I'm outgoing. I can be outgoing when I need to be. Yeah. I want as many. I did not need to finish that. I have been known for my neatness. I have been known for my sense of humor. I've been known for my sense of humor, whether it's good or bad. I am creating my future. I study what the future holds for me. I'd say pretty equal on the 2. I like to challenge. I saw cheating people. I like to challenge people. I like to encourage people. I think I like to encourage people more. I can't think of instances where I'm challenging people specifically. I'm a very private person. My life is an open book. I don't know. I can study for as long as it takes. No, I have a really short attention span. It's getting better. It's getting better, but I still have a short attention span. I am careful not to give out too much praise and recognition, so when I do, it really means something. Oh, I was about to say, yes, out of 10. I am generous with my praise and recognition of people. Yeah, I want you to know what I mean. I like to be alone. I am missing my friends. I'm missing my boo. I'm missing my friends. I like my alone space, but I'd rather be spending time with people. I visualize the future. I understand what caused the present circumstances. I'm usually ignorant, and I have to like learn, or someone has to explain something to me. It is easy for me to admit the truth about myself. Well, I'm ignorant. I struggle to be honest with myself. I feel like I'm pretty honest with myself. People who have not figured out their goals irritate me. Irritate me. I don't like to be around people who can't relax. Yep, that was it. People who have not figured out goals irritate me. I don't really care. Like, I hope you can get your shit together. I choose easy courses. I choose challenging courses. I guess I go the hard way sometimes. I don't know. What has happened in the past inspires me. What can be achieved in the future inspires me. In this specific inspiring sense, future. Last minute pressure focuses my mind. My thinking is clear when I get things done ahead of time. I wish I could explain that right now. I think most people will steal if the conditions are right. I believe that people who steal should be punished. I don't think that, but I do think. Oh gosh! Situational. I don't condone stealing, but family. I'm thinking family. You shouldn't steal. Oh well. I inspire friends to make things happen. I guess that would be the future. I bring harmony to people who are working together. I inspire friends to make things happen. I bring harmony to people who are working together. I don't know if I inspire people to make things happen. When I take into account work I do in the evenings and on the weekends, as well as during my day, my typical work week is 40 to 50 hours. On the weekends as well, a typical work week is
88 hours, right?
more than 60 hours, yes. I wish I want to pause right now, but that's just I'm lighthearted, I am serious. It is easy for me to start new tasks. My problem is getting projects finished. It is easy for me to start new tasks. My problem is getting projects finished. It takes me a minute to get going, but then I finish it. That's hard. No, that's neutral. Okay, I can get along with anybody. I select my friends carefully. I can get along with most people, but I do select my friends carefully. Oh wait, I can do both. It's equally. Gosh dang it. I've had a teacher or coach who really cared about me as a person. Whether or not a teacher liked me is irrelevant. The words I use are intellectually stimulating. My vocabulary consists of practical words. Yeah, I have some, but I did neutral. That wasn't the right answer. I should have done that. My language consists of short, simple words. I tend to use many abstract, complex words. I think this is decently accurate. It's easy for me to put my thoughts into words. Many times I am at a loss of words to describe my ideas. Many times I think strongly. Many times, not all the time. So strongly, yes, many times. I love to read. I love to figure out how things work. I don't love to, but I don't. Oh, my mind is always going. I need to be physically active. I would say I would like both of those things. My mind is always going. That's why I can't get sleep sometimes. I spend at least 5 hours or more alone thinking each week. I like to be with people. Okay. Well,
yeah, I know, for sure.
I know my strengths better than my weaknesses. I know my weaknesses better than my... I think that I know...
You clicked that for a reason.
No.
But go ahead. Well, you did that. Go ahead. Click. I know. Go to the next one.
When I feel strongly with the lesson, I'll click it until this changes it. Yeah. That's why sometimes I do this. I really don't care whether people will like me or not. I love people. See, I know that one for sure. And if it's an either or, okay, so now I can explain.
You split the difference.
Several times. Sometimes, and you'll see half the time, I was just reading everything because I wasn't sure, and then, or I wasn't sure exactly what this meant, and then I understood. But when I know exactly what it means, and I know exactly how I feel, I'll click that in case it's an either or for time. And then once I read this, it might go that way,
Gotcha.
you know, or change it because of this. That's why.
So, before you do that.
Okay. Whew. That was fun.
That was very fun.
That was fun. I was unsure about some things, just how I took them, because I know how I read a couple words, and I can't get the inferences until I review it. Okay, but some words I was like, this is how I'm taking it, but I'm sure it means a more wide thing.
Yeah, and even myself, I was like, oh.
I was expecting more and hoping for more questions. I feel like I didn't.
What, 177 is not good enough for you?
It didn't feel like 177.
Yeah, right?
But 20. I guess I was answering them pretty fast for the short ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a good thing, right? Because that's the initial reaction and just going through.
I feel like I couldn't figure out where my strengths were going except for the one thing that I know I'm decent at, which is mediating. That's the only thing I know I'm decent at. So those questions I knew where they're going, but the rest, I just feel personally like I would have preferred a little more questions to like really discern about, hey, maybe I didn't need them. Maybe it's really obvious that I suck at a lot of things and they're like, okay, I'm sure I'm good at stuff. I don't think, this is like 35 strengths.
34.
There's 34 strengths, and the lower it is on the list, the more of a weakness it is, right?
Well, the less you utilize that strength.
Okay.
So like
So is there a list of weaknesses too?
No, it's
okay.
So
this is strength focused.
Yeah.
Okay. Then real quickly, also I would say, when I think about my strengths, I can only think of a handful of strengths. So it's hard for me to like.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what the other 30 could be. Okay.
So go to the list part.
That's at the front, right?
Towards the back, like right before it gets all like right there. So I'm curious if you could write what you think your top 5 are.
Okay.
Just looking at the names, which is difficult because lack of context, right?
Yeah.
But if you just look at some of those.
Achiever. Let me see. Mike is still at 3. Or full. Okay, let's see. Analytical arranger, belief, command, communication. Competition, connectedness, consistency, context, deliberative, developer, discipline, empathy, focus. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's a list of 30 things. Am I just doing my top 10?
If you want to do just your top 10, you can.
Because
I only do your top 10.
When it gets to the other stuff,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know where that would fall for me.
Yeah.
Then focus is not on it. Okay.
Or your
Woo.
top 5.
What is woo?
Woo! Woo! You think you're a woo?
I don't see
person.
me as a woo girl. Woo! But if that means enjoyment, then I would say 10 for woo, unless it changes. Strategic. The only strategic thing I can think of for me is magic, and that's not my life.
It's not?
I'll go with strategic.
Okay, keep lying,
fear,
blue player.
Of fear. Oh, that's a good point. I am really hard focused on blue. Blue is becoming a core of my magic,
Yeah.
and I love and hate it because red and red white.
I literally just had this conversation with a coworker when we're talking about, because she's kind of interested in magic. So I was like talking about it, and I talked about like how it's cool because you and I talk about its philosophy and stuff like, and I was using you as an example because she's like, I feel like I'll be red. I was like, really? You don't? I just kind of explained them very briefly. You don't know much.
You don't know.
It's just like, but she's like, well, not like that. But it's just like, I explained them very briefly. I didn't go super
And very
detailed.
briefly, yeah.
And she
probably
just
not.
goes,
Okay.
I want to be red.
Cool.
I feel like red.
Cool.
I was like, well, that's cool because like my Kremer, my best friend, he started red
Oh, mono
in high
red.
school. Mono
Oh,
red.
yeah. And that
But
wasn't just
now-
how I played. That was also
Yeah, you're,
very much me.
but
yeah.
now he puts blue in everything. It
Everything.
feels like.
It feels like I blew and I splashed other things.
Yeah.
It's not even 50-50 with stuff. I blew a lot of my shit.
So to go from a mono red player and the persona and the philosophy and the lifestyle of mono red
I haven't thought about it
to
too much,
like
but yeah.
transitioning over the course of 12 years.
Holy crap, we've been playing Magic for 12 years.
Yeah.
I guess that is a... I started blue a few years ago. At
Yeah.
least 3 years ago, I think, is when I started playing with blue
Yeah. And
more
so
intensely.
that decomposition of, you in high school 12 years ago, before you graduate, before you win your mission, before you start drug dealing, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mono red and how you encapsulated that to now where you are now, where like, I think you splash everything. I told her he splashes everything with blue, but no, I think you're right. It's blue and then something else.
Yeah.
And I told her it's because we got to a point, you and I, like myself included, I started green.
Yeah.
Green is because again I was in scouts and I was hiking every month.
Yeah.
Every month I was hiking. So when they said, "Hey, this is the color of nature," that's my color.
Yeah, yeah.
But now, like I mean, think about my control deck.
black. You have
Blue
black
is
in
black.
a lot of your more recent decks. You have black. Your more recent decks, you have black.
Yeah. And I think it's weird because remember we set our challenges to like create a mono black deck because
I remember that. I can't wait to talk about that. Our challenge that we set for each other because we needed something to help us grow.
Yeah.
And one of them was we both very much had no experience in black.
Yeah.
And black deck building using the resources that black players would use, whether it's sacrificing or you can continue.
No, of course I didn't think I really live up to the task, the integrity of the task because I went tribal zombie black deck.
I would say that was one of the things. I would say we both did it good. I feel like I definitely went the sacrificing route. Like I tried to hit more than just one of the few things that we need to implement one of these in our black deck.
Yeah.
I went for a few of them because I wanted to really challenge myself, and I had a really fun creative black deck.
You did.
But it definitely wasn't. I mean, a tribal zombie deck will probably outbeat
A good portion, yeah. A generic
trying to be creative
black
thing
deck, yeah.
when both of us have no experience in black.
The only thing I succeeded was Great Fairy Incursion.
Yeah.
That I mean, I
And
think
that
I
was
nailed
one
it.
of the things. And
I
hey,
nailed
that was yeah.
But no, in that though, it's like, and because I told her it's like, how like every race, every color has its iconic creature type.
Yeah.
So like white has angels, and we're talking about black because like black has a negative reputation, because people, well, if white is a color of law and order and morality, then black by de facto has to be the color of immorality, and it's like no, it's not the color of immorality, it's the color of amorality. It doesn't have to subscribe to a moral compass. It's just more of a jet. That's why the black player doesn't really have like an emotional attachment to kill creature if it means gaining card draw.
Yeah, chaotic.
Like it's
chaotic neutral.
kind of, yeah. Well, like just like more like neutral. Like I feel like true blackness
I feel like black, true black,
would have a touch
would
of
be a little bit chaotic.
Yeah. Or evil neutral.
Maybe I'm thinking of Tybalt a little bit.
Yeah.
Red is more chaotic.
Yeah.
Black would be more neutral, but like I like how you amorality.
Amorality. Where-
Amorality. I've never thought about that before. Nothing is yes or no. I got this creature, but like
It's a very self-focused color. In
okay,
terms
yeah.
of like you turn it inward to yourself.
Yeah.
Hence, and I told her it's like, well, demons are the iconic race of a creature type of black, which doesn't help its like face value, its reputation. But like it's the philosophy, the idea behind that. I will play a card that makes a pact with a demon, and I'll lose half my life, kill half my creatures.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I won the game.
Yeah. Life is just a resource. So why, if you're playing black, wouldn't everything just be a
The
resource?
So it's and that's where I feel like with black, there's a certain level of ambition that you don't see in other colors.
Yeah.
You kind of see the
know
world what
what
it
you
is.
want.
Yeah.
You usually have creatures. If you're sacrificing, for instance, you have things that you're sacrificing for.
There's a purpose for it.
Yeah.
It's not willy-nilly.
You're going to make things happen no matter what it takes.
And I feel like that's why lately, in the last 2 years, maybe definitely strongly the last half year, black has been more of my theme color. Because like
I hadn't been able to connect it until this talk. I hadn't been able to connect why you were saying you were black. I didn't see it. Even when you said it, we had a discussion, then you left, and Cody and I were talking. Just briefly, I was just like, I think he's just playing black. I think he just likes to play black because it's really fun.
Well,
I'm like,
yeah.
but I don't see where that is him. But I didn't really understand it. Even when I learned about all the colors at the very beginning, like years ago, black was one that I didn't look at too much because it just I had no.
It didn't pull on you.
Yeah, exactly. So I didn't really learn about it too much, but it's interesting to see because as you explained that, that's exactly what I've been seeing from you, especially in the last 6 to 12 months.
It's just an ambition.
Yeah.
And I'm learning the other side of that sword can hit you back.
It's
But
Due to recent events.
due to recent events, which we're
Oh
not talking
wow!
about.
Yeah, that's actually the perfect example of
Philosophy.
Okay, so getting back to this because I'm sure I'll add some of that. Maybe I'll put that on that
I kind
video.
of would like for you to keep that because I feel like again hinting at other podcasts is.
Hinting, perfect. Where the
I like your style, baby. I like your style.
Okay, you were gonna say?
Oh, for me to play more blue when I remember very strongly being a green player initially, and hating spending 7 mana to cast this amazing creature and being told no.
Yeah.
And now I'm the person that says no.
We both
Yeah.
despise blue. Neither of us played blue in our decks, and we like kind of had a, not aggression. We had a
Hostility.
hostility is the word. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
When you like you
You saw blue, you're like, okay, you have to die
you
first.
can't really say a negative thing about something because of your viewpoint. What's that called?
You can't say a negative thing about something because of your viewpoint. Your bias?
Yeah, we were a little biased against
Oh.
blue players
Yeah, we
because it's bull. I'm now a blue player, and it's still bull. I get it. Extra turns, canceling things with 2 mana,
bouncing things.
bouncing things. I get it. But now we both play blue.
Blue.
Like, blue is a really core staple in your blue,
Yeah,
black,
control.
red deck.
Grixis, yeah.
The Grixis deck you have.
It's weird, because when a friend I was teaching how to play Magic,
Yeah,
he very much like me. He went because of his.
sure.
He went for green.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I love green. It's color of nature, all that stuff." If you ever watch this, you know who he is. But it was weird because I played that control deck at that time. And I was like, "Oh my god, what have I become? The monster I hated."
You become
Because
the monster.
he would play something and he would just look at me and was like, "Are you going to counter it?" I'm like, I
that
mean, now I
sounds
have
so
to.
familiar.
Now
Talk
I
about
have
monsters. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I'm going to play a green creature. Are you going to counter this? I was like, well, I guess I have to now.
Yeah.
It's like, but it felt weird having satisfaction in denying someone a spell.
Yeah.
I was like, I always hated this. For the longest time, I hated this.
When I go second,
Yeah.
and it's their turn to, they use all their mana, and if they're green, they have more mana sources. So say it's their turn 3, and they can cast a 4 or 5 turn card, and they use all their mana doing it, and I can counter that. It makes me feel so good because you did all this work to get ahead, and I'm just gonna catch up with you slowly, But
That's
I'm
the
gonna
worst.
catch up to you. I love it because I've also become the monster. I mean, extra turns and counters. We have bias against them, okay?
We do.
And I have bias against them even being a player. I am now, you noticed, yes, it's a lot to do with Joseph
Yeah.
because he hates extra turns. And I get it. Because I built a blue deck where even with your best deck, it was really hard for, you didn't beat it a lot. You beat it,
I beat it
but you did not
to
beat it a
memory
lot.
once.
It was, yeah, and we played several times.
Many
It was
times.
very, very smartly built.
Incredible.
I could counter and do all this stuff to stall, and then I could, if I needed to, I could take extra turns and then eventually restart the game in my favor. It was a very long deck, and I played that deck. We went to the card shop. I had the deck with me. Somebody asked, "Do you want to play?" I'm like, "Sure. I only have this deck, and I don't think you'll like it. It's blue control." He's like, "Let's do it." And we were playing. I was taking extra turns, and I was trying to play fast because I know nobody wants to sit through another full extra turn. So my extra turns, I played, sorry, I'm trying to go fast. I might have misplayed some. When I put Karn out
They tap out.
and pumped up twice and said, "I'm really sorry. I've got extra turns. Do you want to?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to tap." I'm like, "I understand. I'm sorry." Like, I hated it. At that point, I felt no good in me. Like, there was no enjoyment. There was no excitement.
You finally felt disgust for the
Because
monster you were.
it was two things. It wasn't a good game.
Yeah.
I much rather have an exciting, what the heck's going to happen next? I don't care if I lose game, than, yeah, my deck's just really good. You have nothing. You can do
You're
nothing.
not the kind of person that's going to go to a LGS and play your best deck just to pump stomp on people.
And that's why, even
Winning
though
is
you
not
were the
everything
only
for you.
person, yeah, and that's why even though you're the only person I played that deck with, I tore it apart. I'd even take some cards out. I tore it apart because I knew that it just wasn't fun. That moment, that game with that other person that wasn't a friend who was just putting up with it, but expressly saying I don't like it, but do your thing. I was like, I felt no joy in being able to do all that. I'm like, no. And that's when I started turning towards blue-green, and that's when I made that deck. And even that deck, which wasn't supposed, it was supposed to be fun for me, but it was the first fun deck that I've ever built that just was overwhelmingly good.
Powerful, yeah.
Against 3 other people, I was still being able to bounce
Yeah.
build my tokens, and take extra turns. And that's when I started. Now I'm transitioning to a phase where, you know what? I've had fun, I've won, and I've been on top. And I've built decks that have been on top.
Yeah.
That undisputably will win a game blue. Specifically that one blue deck.
Yeah.
Now let's rein it back and use that for legitimate good. All right? Let's rein it back. It's not about me. Now how I'm going to enjoy this and have fun and feel good about myself is, you know what? I'm going to let you draw some cards. I'm going to let you take an extra turn. I feel like something's a little fair, like maybe this person's on top and these guys just are not getting a break. You know what? Refill your hand, my guy. Take an extra turn. You know what? Counter that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be for one person. I'm not going to be one for all or all for one, man. I'm going to just equalize the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But I want to come in second. Okay? Now, I'm going to help you all out. But
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking come in second. And if I sense that you're not appreciating me helping you, and you're going to start attacking me even a little bit, you're no longer on my friends list.
Is this
And one of you two now can rise to glory. And I'll take my place as second.
Is this from personal experience?
Personal experience. This is just where I am now. Like even
Oh.
my modern deck, my favorite modern deck, I'm making it even better to be equalizer.
Oh yeah.
And now my new commander deck is like very much a.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to win, but what I found out is I can win 1v2. Like 1v1, I can win. You know, but like it's supposed to help other people, and that's where I am really finding my enjoyment. I'm blue, but like now I'm a good blue.
Yeah,
I'm a good blue.
You're a socially responsible blue.
I'm not a bad blue.
I made a joke the other day with Joseph how like people just have a negative reputation, a hostility, a bias against blue players.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, man, blue players are the worst.
Counter.
So anyway, I'm thinking about making a mono blue. You just starts laughing, but no, it's. I mean, is it? Was I thinking my draw? I mean,
Is it to you was what Boros was for me?
yeah.
I think.
Well, when I think of your Boros, I think of my Rakdos.
I think of that too. Obviously, that's
Right.
where
That's
where
where
my
we had
goes
the
to.
most-
But to
oh my
you,
God.
I think is what Boros is to me.
That's see. I think I have like magic personality schizophrenia
Yeah,
because like I know I love my Izzet.
yeah,
My Grixis came out of my Izzet.
yeah.
For crying out loud. But dude, I've been playing Tristani, that token creation deck. That deck is really a deck that's an ever living project. Right? I remember in high school.
You've had it since high school.
I've had it since
You've
high school.
had it admittedly after my green-white deck, my life-gaining deck.
Yeah.
I think you built yours either. It was either we built them around the same time as we normally do, or
Yeah.
you built it a little bit after. But I know mine came first
I think so.
because of my wow amount of life. But it wasn't too after that you either updated your green white and you eventually just made my life null and void. Like it didn't matter how much. I would love to say this for Magic, but like I might clip this out and put that in there, okay?
Yeah.
But like
Also, I think it says something that even in a non-Magic podcast focus, when you say Magic's not my all life, I question you. It's like, is it though not? Because it's like, dude, think about all the late nights you and I have had where like, yeah, in that time in my like college life, that was definitely blue.
yeah.
Like, come on, my guy. Like
Yeah.
that's
No, I love it. Even
Yeah.
in our non-magic podcast focuses, I
It
gotta
comes
edit
out.
some of it out. But like, yeah, it comes out, and I do love that. But what I will say is like,
Sorry to interrupt you.
when it came to the point where I had made my green-white deck even better, so that I could
Flicker and gain
midway
life.
through midway through. Not Flicker, that was a different deck, but Dorda let me
Nothingness.
flicker that, yeah. I continuously made my deck so that midway through the game, not even end game, midway through the game, I was gaining thousands of life every turn. I, however, was not a good enough Magic player because my colors till that point were red with the splash of white. That was my colors, and then I did green-white for the first time. Green is my least played color. I made it to where I could gain that much life, but did I have anything to do with that life? Was there any win condition for me? No.
No.
I had creatures. Okay, maybe. maybe I'm just hitting it too hard because of your green-white deck, which he built it so good to where he was doing a little more than 1,000 damage to me every turn. So, like, we got to this point where how long was that game?
I mean, we were there until the restaurant staff had to kick us out.
Easily an hour.
Or two. We
So,
got there, like...
one game,
Yeah.
modern game, green-white, green-white. He has a token populate deck that also gains him some life. I have just a life deck. And we're getting to the point where I'm gaining thousands of life, and he's slowly building it to where he's dealing that much damage to me, and finally at the tipping point, which is about when they were closing,
Yeah.
he's starting to deal just over as much life as I'm gaining. And like, we could have spent 3 more hours eventually whittling me down all the way, but like, at that point, the game was over.
I think though, we knew that I was gonna lose because I had some card draw.
Yeah.
So just by milling, if we would have kept going by milling, I would have milled myself
Oh,
out.
that's true. I think
Yeah.
that I did win that game by that default.
Yeah.
But that's the last game I played my white green, because I'm like, it doesn't matter how much life I have if I can't win the game. And that's when I decided I pretty much took
Touched
green
white.
out. White out? I took green out and I added black.
Yeah.
And and now it's like I gain a lot of life, not as much life,
What was...
but now you take the damage
What
when
was
I
the
gain the
card?
life.
What was the card?
2, Sanctuary of something.
Well, the other one, it had bolus in it. It was a 5-drop enchantment.
Yeah.
You cast from
Sanctuary of something, I think. Bolus Sanctuary?
the... Bolus Century, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. When I
Game
added that
changer.
for the first time,
Game changer.
which
Yeah.
to any Magic the Gathering players, Professor, I love the Professor, sorry.
Yeah.
Many Magic the Gathering
Yes,
players
I love how you
will
focus
already
on-
know that card and will be like, why the didn't you add that in the life gaining deck? Anyway, I'm new. I'm new to that style.
We were... Yeah.
But when I added it for the first time, it was a game changer. But easily rendered after. Like, of course, anytime I played his Grixis or anything, it just, there goes that. And that's why I was like, okay, I got to more fully commit to black-white, take out green completely because it's too much. I think I have a splash of green for protection.
Yeah.
And then I've got, a couple green cards that let me gain as much life as I lost this turn.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a white card. Yeah, there's a white card where I gain as much life as I lost this turn, which is just beautiful.
It was 3 colors. It was green, white, black. I think the green was there to ramp out a little bit and gain life, because there's still some green gain life cards in there that were really good. But it's not that we built decks on purpose to cancel each other out. It's just...
We just naturally went there. Even
Yeah.
when we said, okay, let's build new decks with this limitation.
That's for another podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're done
yeah.
with this now. Okay, back to this. And we're going to edit a lot of this out.
Yeah.
But I will definitely add this in my... I'll add some of this. I got to add some of this. It's just... Okay. Got a lot of video. I wasn't expecting... We can't do this
Every time.
in non-magic videos because it's
Yeah.
too much to have to go edit out.
I'm so sorry.
Communication, competition, connectedness. What does connectedness mean to you?
When I read connectedness, it's like, how connected to the world around you do you feel? Connectedness.
Okay, that's not in my top then. Context? How about that?
Context would be like, I think of context as like, well, the context of my situation around me. So I have to like look into the past, or I have to read the situation, you know, kind of things like that. I get context to the situation.
Okay. Deliberative, is that what I think it means?
You're deliberative with your actions.
Oh, no, I was thinking...
Deliberative, like someone that's, if I deliberately do things,
Yeah.
I'm a deliberative person.
I wouldn't say top 10, I don't know. Intellection, input... It's hard because... I don't know, this is really hard to do. Self-assurance, significance... Oh, significance, responsibility... Responsibility, positivity. I would say positivity is probably in my. I hope, at least, maximizer, learner, intellection, input. I'm trying to do this fast. So these are my top 10 for me. I don't know enough about them. I just don't have the time to really think about what the order is.
And it's unfair because I do know the context behind them.
Which
You
is fine.
don't.
I'm interested to see how many are in the top 10, though.
For sure.
So here's my top 10. Communication, relator, empathy, context, harmony, adaptability, positivity, responsibility, strategic, and woo.
What I had was harmony as number 1, but then I kind of dropped harmony all the way down to 10, but a potential 10.
Interesting. Because of how I was answering my questions?
Because of how I kept thinking about you.
Okay.
And to some degree, yes, how you're answering your question. I think your number 1's relator.
Relator.
Because, like,
Okay.
one thing that I think has surprised me the last 2 years, because I feel like you're very open to anybody and everybody, and you want to include people in
Yeah.
group settings, but you made comments in the last 2 years, I'm like, I don't feel like that's who Kramer is, but clearly if he feels that way, that's who he is. Where, like, you rather have 2 or 3 friends in your life, really, really close relationships,
Yeah.
than to have many friends. Which, again, is counterintuitive to the image I sometimes get of you, where, like, not that that's a fake version of you, but, like, you want to be included of everybody. We talk about,
It's not fake. It's definitely like, hey,
No, that's
I
what
want I want everyone to like me.
yeah.
And if you don't like me, I don't care, whatever. But I want everyone to feel included for sure. And like the best way I can do that is like, just because you're not going to become a good friend of mine doesn't mean you can't join in. I want you to feel included, mostly probably because I definitely didn't feel included in a lot of things. I wasn't in the group that I had my friends,
Yeah.
but like before you and Cody, for instance, like I remember one instance specifically in middle school when there was a new student, and I was like the only person who talked to him. And like we hung out for a little bit, but then he got accepted in the like cool kids group. Like never talked to him again. I was like, and I don't care. Like I don't need people in my life, especially at that time. Like it kind of sucked. I was like, well, but I also understood that's how school works. Like that's how groups work, and I don't care to the point. But like I definitely was like, I don't want that person to just not have a good experience because nobody's
Right.
And like yeah, I'm like the bottom of the chain, but at least somebody is including you in playing a game of chess or something.
Yeah.
Until like you have your group of people. So yeah,
Yeah, but that's so
it's
I
not.
put.
It's definitely not fake.
Yeah,
though.
no, that's what I said. It's not
Yeah.
fake. I know it's not. Relator. It's just you don't care about wide. You don't care if you have 200 contacts in your phone, but your top 6 dials you want to have really great relationships with.
Yeah.
And I think that's what your relator. I put your communicator as 3. It's just a strong suit. The more I thought, the more this one was based on your answers. I didn't really think you were that much into like history because I don't see you read history books.
I don't read them.
But when you're answering some of those questions, like okay, he's context. He's definitely context. Maybe not top 5, but there. I put empathy
Context. Is it because of how I was taking the questions, or?
there. Context is more about history.
Oh, okay.
Looking
okay,
to the past to find.
Oh, because I was answering more history based.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're going more for the history than the future.
Yeah. I want to have goals and I want to shoot for the future and I want to think about things, but like I know. Oh, it's probably the comment I made about like I think it's stupid.
You have everyone
Wants-
should know the future or how to solve
Needs
things.
to know the past. Yeah.
I was like, that is something someone with high context would say.
Oh, okay.
And strongly
That's cool.
believe.
That's cool.
You have to look into the past to know the future.
Yeah.
That's context. That screams
that's
context.
That's cool.
I put you 4 in empathy, 5 restorative.
4 on empathy. Okay, that makes sense.
Then 6 is activator. In our group settings, you don't want to take charge. You don't want to lead. You don't want to dictate where we go.
Yeah.
And again, you're good at including everybody's ideas, but at the end of the day, you just want to go somewhere. You don't care if we get Chinese or Mexican that night.
Yeah.
You just want us to go somewhere.
And I know, going off of that, I know when I'm talking, and I usually catch myself, but sometimes I don't. In the most recent, when I'm really excited about what I'm talking about, I will go in circles, and unfortunately sometimes I don't see it, or maybe I just talk a lot about something. But I do try to tend to catch myself when I'm going in circles, because going in circles is boring and it goes nowhere. And so I catch myself, but I also I don't want you to go in circles too, because out of
It's
context
not
of a
productive.
group trying to be productive,
Yeah.
it's wasting our time.
Yep.
You know?
That's what an activator would kind of feel like. It's
See, I
like
didn't know that that's what activator was, or else I would have probably would have added that.
Is in there.
Yeah.
7 as achiever.
Interesting.
Because I was telling to my coworker about this. I feel like people who are in like vocationals are we consider like handyman, like plumbing, electrician, AC work, wood craftsmanship. I feel like that kind of career style. Achiever has to be a top 15 most likely would be my like. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not like a strength finder coach by any means. But I would imagine if you're in that field where you work with your hands a lot and you're you're creating a wood bench or you fix a whole apartment unit's AC or something like that.
Yeah.
You're probably an achiever, self-motivating achiever. So
Sure.
like I love fixing things and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I look at you. You do a lot of achieving stuff, like you all this. You know the whole podcast, the computers, tournament plays in Magic. You again, winning isn't everything, but you played it well enough to be at something like that. Your work with your father, things like you like to get things done. You feel
Okay.
pretty good about yourself if you're productive.
Yeah.
And I was like, achiever. If it's
Interesting.
not a top
Okay.
5, I know you take pride in work ethic as much as I do.
That's true.
And I was
That's
like,
true. Okay, that's true.
Achiever has to be a top 10 for you. Deliberative, also a top 10. Just again
Really?
with activator, you don't want to just go for no reason.
Okay.
I think you do
That
things
makes
with
sense.
a purpose.
See, that's where I was like, I had a certain way I was seeing those words,
yeah.
and so what you're saying makes sense. I guess I'm pretty cool.
9 significance. And that's just like
What was that? Significance?
significance. And that's just because, and I think anybody who starts a podcast or wants to be a Twitch streamer to a degree, probably significance is a top 15. That's, again, my educated guess.
Okay.
The desire to feel significant. And it's not, again, I don't think it's a top 5.
I would say, for me specifically, like this, I wanted to say this started out. This is starting out. So like,
Yeah.
it's starting out because well, I wanted to Twitch and just game with you guys and have the memories.
Right.
And Twitch is a platform and YouTube is a platform. So I'm like, I started this for us.
Right.
But you know, if people happen to like it, here it is. It's built. It's built for you to be able to enjoy it already. You know?
It's less probably of a importance and list for you.
Where significance would be for me would be the manga I'm working on.
Yeah.
Which, in case, I'm just kidding, is nowhere near complete. It'll take another 1.5 years easy just to finish the first 10 chapters.
Yeah.
And to get somebody illustrating it. But, like, to me, that is something that I would consider as significance.
Well, also think about I hate bringing up Magic in a non-Magic
you.
podcast, but like decks you built lately, they're not for winning. They're just for us to be like, oh wow, that was neat, that was cool, that's a
Okay.
nice, well done, buddy. And then we move on.
Okay.
You just want to have that one be
I just want
recognized.
to be part of the person who wins.
You
I
want to
wanna
be recognized for doing something cool.
Yeah.
Again, that's what I say. I feel like people who do streaming, probably significance would be higher for them because
Hey, my
they want to be
suicide deck,
recognized.
for instance.
Yeah, yes.
I don't play it a lot because it has the extra turns in it, the cheating
It
extra
could give
turns.
yourself a headache.
Oh my gosh, it gives me a headache, it gives everyone a headache. The amount of times, and at the beginning, I accidentally killed myself a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
And whoopsies, and you got so smart at countering the one thing I needed to stop myself from dying because of suicide. I loved it. But like, yeah, that was definitely like I'm gonna enjoy this. I found things as I played it, but like I built it with certain things in mind. And I was just, all I wanted was for you guys to be, specifically you, to be like, damn Kramer, that's
Yeah.
that's a good deck. Those are some cool plays.
Yeah, that's
all I
that part of
cared about
significance
with
is,
that, yeah.
and I think while you're starting playing blue, a little bit of that is coming out. It's like because blue gives you that ability, that range of creativity
It also-
and outside the box thinking.
Yeah.
And when you build your decks recently, you can
Yeah.
concur. I've been like, damn, that's cool.
It also makes
And you
sense
like
because
that.
a lot of my more recent modern decks, and more recent in like the last year, they're not competitive, but they're fun. I always clarify, I'm going to play a fun deck. I'm not going to win, and I want to have fun, but it's like, because I built those decks because they were cool and they were different, but they can't be competitive how I'm building them. They're just, yeah, okay, so let's continue.
And then
Damn,
I put
another 10
competition as 10,
Okay.
but I was like,
yeah?
we have
I am not competitive. I'm just kidding. I was trying to
we
be-
have a
yeah, it didn't work.
competitive. No, you're good. You're good.
We have a competitive.
We have a competitive relationship.
Yeah.
In chess, in Magic, in Boken, and whatever. But that doesn't mean like you're a competitor. So I actually put you as responsibility for 10.
Excuse me. That's what I feel. I feel I'm more responsible than competitive. Just because I'm competitive with you doesn't mean I'm a competitive
And we have
person.
a great competitive relationship.
It's hard not to be when we consistently build decks on accident that counter each other.
And we just keep pushing each other.
And then we push each other
we
to
keep
make.
having.
I know, and I'm not taking full credit. I'm not even taking a quarter of the credit. But I know if it weren't for our playing, your green-white deck would probably not be where it is. If so, at least
It would take longer.
not when it is where it is. So for that, competitive is very important.
We've always had a good relationship,
yeah.
you and I, to be able to push our creative thinking.
Yeah.
And obviously Magic's consistent one that we engage, but like games of Risk, games of
Yeah.
Any game, any sort of activity.
Well, albeit you are usually the one who wins the more strategic, smart, but it is very fun for me to be challenged.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, we played a game of chess recently, like, when we were in the last apartment, and I enjoyed it, but I was like, I maybe could have won, but I made so many stupid moves. And I'm like, I enjoy chess, but it's hard to want to play and enjoy it when I know the outcome will be Jose wins.
Well, not even, because like
And with chess, it's hard to make those really cool plays. Where Magic, we could be equal. You could win, but like I can still have a really cool, really smart, really out of the box way of winning. Whereas with chess, there's like only so many things you can do without them just being known. That's why it's one of the best games for like really smart into the future thinking people. They can predict the moves. I don't want that. Like I'm not like that anyway. I can't be like that. But I don't want to play a game where somebody could predict what I'm going to do. No, man. I want to change it up.
Yeah, you want to have that. Wow, that was really
I
cool.
want to have
moment.
that control.
Yeah.
And anyway.
Yeah. When I did this, before I put thought into it, because I knew we were going to do this tonight, so at work I was already thinking about it. I was like, I feel like he's going to be an influence and relationship. But then I started writing down what I thought your top 10 was.
I taught your top 10.
Sorry, I started writing down what I thought your top 10 was. I was like, okay, these are in the influence relationship, so I got that part right. But some of these, achiever, activator, all that's actually execution.
Huh. Yeah,
So it's he is influence for sure. I know you're going to be an influence. But so it's like maybe he's not, maybe I don't think he's as relationship focused as he is maybe just getting things done.
Oh, that's interesting. And definitely I would have gone with relationship probably being my top. But that's a good point. Probably not the way you're putting it. Now what I want to do is, again, not knowing them exactly, but I kind of want to put my top 10 for you.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and take the book.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a couple more minutes. You're not going to talk about Magic.
No, we're not.
Because I want to get this done.
Well, you don't want to take 4 hours editing this, or, God knows
Exactly.
how long it's going to take you to get this resolved.
Strategic?
No, I get what you're saying.
I would say consistency. For as much as I can think of, and because I'm looking for a last one and I can't find what's a ranger? A ranger, not a ranger, but
a ranger. So think of them as the job for an ranger, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah.
You're the conductor of the orchestra.
Oh, well,
you
there
see
we go.
all the moving pieces and you put them together.
Goodbye consistency. Hello, a ranger. Spoiler. See, my lack of understanding the words and
Influences
what they mean
here, yeah.
exactly. So this is what I have. It's really brief.
Yeah.
But here are the top 10 that I have for you. Strategic, not in order.
Yeah.
Command, discipline, focus, learner, responsibility, competition, even though analytical, input, a ranger.
Okay.
Those are my top 10.
So
I feel strongly that I did not get those all right, but that's what I see from my understanding and for this like brief 5-minute thing.
So
Yes, I want to hear yours first.
my top 5. Number 1 is input.
Damn right. The second I heard what the definition of that was, I'm like, oh, he is an inputter.
Input. Usually collect cards, books, ideas, anything. You input. So you read the books and I'll text you my strengths so you know they are when you read it.
Yeah.
You'll be like, damn, that's Jose to a T. Number 2 is learner. Again, it used to be number 1.
Yep.
Dropped down to 2, but still very strong. 3, intellection.
Where was it? I didn't see intellection.
Yeah.
Oh no!
That is
It
good.
would have been in
Oh,
there.
for
but
sure.
I
For sure.
went through
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah, you were speeding.
Yeah.
3, intellection. And like you said, I'm the only one that you like to have philosophical conversations.
You're the only person. Philosophical conversation. I'll have conversation with other people, but I don't really do that anyway. My sister and I will probably have some talks, but I would say, as much as I do love having those talks with her, I think it's because we're siblings.
Yeah.
We when it gets to either not understanding the other person's point of view or having a slightly different one, it gets a little bit more heated. Like, not mad or anything, but just like, we can be calm the whole time we're talking about our extremely opposite point of views.
Yeah.
But my sister and I, we just can't. I think it's because we're siblings.
I think of intellection a lot. I think of when I was in debate in college, and after the tournaments, we would sit down together and
If
we
I'd
just...
seen it, I would have just...
Yeah, no.
That's
4 is achiever. 5 is analytical.
for sure.
Do we go... And I can keep going with the other ones, I'm sorry.
I just need the top 10, yes,
Yeah.
the next 5.
So you only get the top 5 for free, unfortunately. But you
Oh,
do...
so I won't see the top 10.
Right. So
But I can buy
Yeah.
I can buy the whole thing. And I
Yeah.
probably will, because this is
I
interesting.
did because, I mean, again, empathy being number 33, no surprise. But anyway,
Yeah.
it lets you know what you need to be more consciously. Anyway, 6, focus,
Yep. Got that.
which kind of surprised me a little. 7,
Surprise me.
context. Which makes sense. I
Context.
love learning history books.
Sorry. I wasn't sure, honestly. I know you love history, but I also know you love thinking of the future. It was hard.
8 is discipline.
Yep.
Just need to focus that on my weight loss program. 9 is competition.
There we go.
And 10, you're never going to guess this one, connectiveness.
What?
Yeah.
No.
That's why I said only the people who really, I think, and then, no, not that you don't, but it's like, it even took me by surprise, but then I was like, no, that makes sense.
You're connective before you're strategic?
Yeah.
Before you take command? Before responsibility is important to you?
Strategic
before
is
you're
actually
an
trying to-
arranger?
Yeah.
You're telling me that you're connective before all that.
Yeah.
I know family's important to you, but
Well, it goes beyond that. It goes beyond,
and that's where
connectiveness is
I
like,
probably don't know you enough there.
yeah, it's something that we love having philosophical debates, but we don't necessarily discuss philosophy in itself.
There we go.
And my intellection and my learner and my input, all that stuff, the philosophy that makes up a lot of who my ethics and my core being are, comes from if you knew the philosophers I read,
Yeah.
you probably ask them, it's like, oh, Jose feels a moral obligation to his fellow countrymen. Jose feels a moral
Okay.
obligation to maintaining a good environment because
Sorry,
we
I don't
respect
have
it.
those conversations with you. I just
No.
I know it doesn't
Come out very openly.
it doesn't come out openly for you, but I also know that to talk about philosophy is not one of my things.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I was like, when I saw that just 10, I was like, right before, like you, I was like, command is below that?
Interesting.
But then I was like, no, I have a very strong ethical core value to always do right for each other, not to exploit people, not to cheat people.
Yeah.
Because, and when you read the thing on the book, when it breaks down connectedness,
Okay.
it's like, you wouldn't hurt others because you believe that we're all connected.
So there's a chance that I'll have connectiveness.
There's a chance on that.
Wait, don't look.
Oh, okay.
Look away. I want to read
Oh,
them
look
to
up.
you. Okay. Purple is executing, orange is influencing, relationship building is blue, strategic thinking is okay. Would it surprise you that my main color is blue?
Wow. Well, initially before I got information from you, I put influence and relationship as your.
Okay. But after all the information, after you heard me answer,
I put
you
influence
took away
execution.
relationship.
Yeah, and I put you as execution.
Okay, so you can look now. I have execution, responsibility is number 3.
Okay, wow. So that's a high one I put it as your 10th.
4 is communication, which
I put it as your 3.
I definitely get it. I knew it wasn't 1, and I figured it wasn't 2, but I put it for me as 2 because I just felt like I know communication's up there for me.
You always talk about that.
Number 5 is empathy,
I
which
put it as
I
your
knew
number
empathy
4.
was going to be top 5. Number 1 is relator.
I nailed that one.
man, relator. Which, after you explain it to me, I'm like, okay, that's probably going to be 1, 2. Yeah. 2 is strategic, which I'm really happy about because specifically Magic, I feel like I'm strategic. But with other things, I feel like I'm getting more whatever goes under that. I'm just happy strategic is in my top 5.
And the difficult for me is still learning the difference between analytical and strategic.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't analytical. Even some of the answers, I'm like, it said analyze or use that word. I'm like, that's what threw me off on those answers. I'm like, let's go the middle because I know I don't analyze things. I notice things. When you're talking to me, I can pick out things that probably that person will react a certain way to that you might not see. But I'm not, I don't like,
Wow.
I'm so excited strategic.
And not that obviously I do this with everybody I meet in my life, but you're the first person I know that has actually all 4 in their top 5.
Oh, I didn't even, that's cool.
For me, how mine looks like,
Yeah.
now
Here.
that we're going to see on the screen. Oh, well,
I'll mouse it.
So it's going to be input,
Yeah.
intellectual, learner, achiever, and back to analytical.
So 4 green and 1 purple.
Which is great because
it makes sense.
I think a lot.
I would say strategic thing, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
On the colors, I would say you're going to main green.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I'm so thankful that I have achiever as my number 4 because
Yeah.
it makes me feel like I'm not just someone that just thinks all day.
Yeah.
I actually get things done with my thinking. And so I think that makes me feel good because, like, okay, I do actually get things accomplished. I don't spend all my time reading or just
Yeah,
writing.
right.
Like, I do these.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's
I feel
awesome.
good about how I do them because obviously spend a lot of time thinking about how to do those things.
Yeah.
So
I kind of want to buy the full thing and see my top 10.
yeah.
Let's do this. So it's this one.
Yep.
Get started.
That is.
I'm interested as hell to see.
You're awesome though, because you're like very unlike me. You're very well rounded.
Wow. It was my parents.
Oh wow. Woo.
Holy crap. Okay.
That's interesting being.
Let's go. Let's do this. Switching back to podcast. I'm all over the fucking place.
Yeah, dude, you're pretty well rounded. I can tell you I'm not. I am mostly green.
Let's go. Let's do this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6 is self-assurance. Self-assurance. I would have put that closer to 30. Self-assurance to me, I think of like you constantly like kind of motivate yourself.
You may not think it. You may not consciously feel like you're comforting yourself, or not even comforting yourself.
That's what I'm thinking. Comforting yourself.
You may not consciously think that you're comforting yourself or you're giving yourself all this positivity or what have you, but like, as your friend, I would make the claim that look, not a lot of people would, with no IT background, no like tech background, stuff like that.
Sure.
Not a lot of people might do what you're doing, you know.
But
Or
that's not self-assurance. Sorry.
well, it's the belief that you can do those things. Not a lot of people, maybe not that many people without a finance background might be doing day trading stock, right? You do things
Smart people
that,
without a day trade, without a financial wouldn't.
okay, so maybe what we need to realize is your positivity is very, very low, but because
Okay, yeah.
positivity is one of them. Your self-esteem might
Where
not be.
is positive? I want to sign positivity now.
It's 22.
22. That makes sense because I really don't. I usually think I'm doing okay.
Positivity is 31 for me.
Wow, you're even worse than I am.
Yeah.
You are down on yourself a lot, and like when we've had some serious conversations, I have to be like, hold on a second, Jose. Like, look at where you are, though.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I can see
I'm
where
my
you're
worst
lower.
critic.
Yeah,
I really am.
I'm not 31. Where were you? 31.
31 in
I'm not
positivity.
31. I'm 22. But like, I do know that I usually only think that what I've done is okay or mediocre.
And then the other thing is, we talk about intelligence,
Yeah.
and it's not fair. I think maybe this shines some light.
I'm looking at intelligence.
Intelligence. It's going to be 31.
Wow! What I've been saying my whole life has not been a lie. I'm not smart.
No, don't take it that way. It just
Ha-ha.
means that. Well, it's interesting, right? Because mine's 3. that's important to me.
Yeah.
And
Oh!
but you're my best friend, and look at you. You're
Does
31.
that mean Cody is going through my head right now. I used to think you were smarter than me. Do you remember that
Yes.
day? I think you could tell he did not mean any balance by it. But like it was just like I used to think you were smarter than me. Okay.
Oh my god.
That's so funny. But yeah, that makes sense to me. Maybe it's because I don't care about that as much. But
When was the last time you opened a book of philosophy of your own?
that's the other thing though. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
So it
When
makes
was the
sense
last
that,
time I did?
yeah,
Within
it makes
the
sense
last-
that this is even this. I didn't read it first. He gave me this book 4 months ago, and I brought it with me to read while I was while I was working. I don't know where it is. This is a birthday gift he forgot he gave to me. Why? Because we've never talked about it once.
Yeah.
So when he gave this to me, I'm like, you've given this to me, I think, because I don't know what the title of the book was, but it looked like this. So yeah, no, it makes sense, and I apologize for that.
No, it's fine.
And that's why even before you showed me what you got, I'm like, Jose, I just want to let you know if you got me a book, I'll love it. But I can't promise we'll have a deep discussion about it. And then when you told me what it was, I'm like, oh yeah, we're having a deep discussion about this.
I know that books are not your thing, but I hope that you would trust me that if I pick a book for you, it would be something that you would enjoy.
Which makes me wish and happy that I did not read this 4 months ago when I had not even thought about doing Twitch or streaming or podcasts, which I only thought about doing 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that it was at this point.
Yeah.
My birthday week. Happy birthday, me.
So
That you just said. Okay.
7.
7.
Context, yeah.
Context.
History.
Makes sense. Okay.
You're a big history guy. 8. Focus.
Focus. Did not see that coming.
Focus is pretty similar. I'm 6 on focus. You're 8 on
Cool.
focus.
I thought it'd be top 15 or top 20 with focus. Because I don't focus for long periods of time.
Says the guy who, when he plays his mono blue deck, says, give me a second, I need to
That's
focus.
different.
Don't play.
I'm loving what the f I'm about to do, okay? When it comes to studying and focusing,
Yeah.
like for instance, editing, I found out that I can do 2 to 4 hours of editing or watching and like finding stuff because it excites me.
Yeah.
I'm excited about what I'm doing. When it comes to studying, even stocks, which I'm like the most passionate about currently on learning,
Yeah.
even above all this stuff, I can still only do like an hour tops of reading.
Yeah.
And even listening, I'm like, when I'm listening to my stuff as I'm driving, 30 minutes is where I cap out when I'm listening to it.
No, when you put it like that, I'm kind of surprised focus is, well, it's 6.
So high, right?
It's well, not for you, for me.
Oh.
Because it's like, I don't feel like focus, I feel like discipline would be above focus.
Yeah.
But I am the student.
So
I was the student that could spend hours reading.
So I'm interested in reading what focus has.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason it's there that I don't see.
Yeah.
9 activator, which makes sense after you explained it.
Yeah. And then 10 is individualization.
Yeah, that also makes sense.
Well, it kind of makes, because again, you're a relator, so you want to focus on.
Your
yeah.
individualization's theme leads you to be intrigued by the unique qualities of each person. Okay, yeah. You are impatient with generalizations or types. Generalizations. Well, I don't say blanket statements or something I hate, although I would rather you specify it. Things like always and never, anything in
You
that
hate
realm,
those.
get that shit
Just
out
like
of
in
my
the
life.
test, you said I don't like the word everything on it.
I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah.
I can't answer that because it's yeah. So it makes sense. 11.
Now, what are your bottom 5?
Let's go bottom 5. Okay, 35, right?
34.
Does it show your bottom?
Yeah, because you just have to look at the numbers.
Oh wait, would it be? There we go. 34. Maximizer. Excellence is not average. Not average is your measure. Taking something from below average to slightly above average takes a great deal of effort and in your opinion is not very rewarding. Transforming something strong into something superb takes just as much effort but is much more thrilling. Strengths, whether yours or someone else's, fascinate you. Like a diver after pearls, you search them out, watching for telltale signs of strength. Something to go along with that. Noticing signals from girls, noticing strengths or what you guys are good at. Definitely, I can like notice that before I even notice anything that deals with me and that stuff.
Right.
A glimpse of tutored excellence, rapid learning, a skill master without recourse to steps. I'm not going to finish reading this. I'll read it on my own time. But like, it's there for people to read if they want to pause it. Interesting though. And after reading it, I'm like, okay, it's not what I would have put at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, number
33.
8. Number 8. I'm looking at you.
Focus.
But cool.
33. Harmony.
That's a top 15 for me.
The
for sure.
Dr. Phil of the apartment is Harmony's 33?
You look for areas of agreement. Okay. I'm sorry, that okay was because I do look for areas of agreement. I make sure we're all on a, in your view, there is little to be gained from conflict and friction, so you seek to hold them to a minimum. This is feeling like a top 5 for me right now, right?
Yeah.
This is like,
I'll put it as a top 10 after
reading those 2 sentences, I'm like, this is top 5 for me in like groups, people. Okay. When you know that people around you hold different views, you try to find the common ground. You try to steer them away. I'm about to cry.
No.
You try to steer them away from confrontation toward harmony. Is this? Tell me when it starts to not feel like a number 1 for me. Okay. Tell me when it starts to not. In fact, harmony is one of your guiding values. You can't quite believe how much time is wasted by people.
No. Pause. Take a step back.
Guiding values.
Take a step back.
Okay.
And in this test, it showed many times, you are not so focused on harmony to the point that you're just going to give compliments for the sake of giving compliments. You are not the person that you're willing to bite your tongue. How many times have you checked me? If I said something out of line, any of us in the group, us 4 roommates, any of us said something.
Not the camera.
Sorry, us 4 roommates. Any of us said something that's out of line. How many times have you been there to correct it? Now it is with the purpose of creating harmony for us.
Okay.
But it's conflicting. But like, you're not someone you care.
Harmony, I understand now. Harmony as a guiding value would probably make me want to be like more buttercuppy and sweet to like your.
And again, you want to include people. You're good at that.
But like,
you're good at.
I do want to continue reading because
it does feel like a top 15.
Because that makes it helps me understand why it's the bottom king one.
It doesn't feel like it is.
It shouldn't be, but
I feel like it's top 15.
But when you point out that like, I'm not going to give you a compliment for the sake of a compliment, okay? But let's continue because aside from guiding value, harmony is one of your guiding values. Even the next sentence, you can't quite believe how much time is wasted by people trying to impose their views on others. Oh, I thought it was going to go to arguments, like stupid arguments. Impose views on others. I don't agree with that, but I can't quite believe it's too much like bullshit. Okay. Wouldn't we all be more productive if we kept our opinions in check and instead looked for consciousness and support? Okay, we're getting to the okay. You believe we would, and you live by that belief. Yeah, but I still believe that people should be able to share their opinions, and that sounds more like
now we're breaking this
let's
apart.
Hold our own opinions inside and just be happy with each other. And no, I don't believe that. I believe that we should share our shit. And I'm glad those first
that hurt a little.
Those first 3, I was like I was smiling and laughing, but like I could feel that I was like about to take this personally. Like I take a lot of pride in how much I make sure if you have a problem, let's solve that, but like also look at the other.
And then also like, what is this, your 33?
33.
Empathy's my 33. But that doesn't mean that I never have an ounce of empathy.
It's true. That's
right?
true.
Like, how many times between you and our relationship, and we've known each other since high school, yes, definitely, you could agree. Empathy, it was no surprise to you that empathy was low for me.
Yeah.
But you can't say that I have no empathy.
You don't have no empathy.
Again.
That makes sense. These are the top 34 strengths.
Yeah.
That's hard to...
It's hard because we think of weaknesses, right? But again, that's the whole perspective of this thing.
This is definitely one I saw as a strength. But not to the extent, not to this religious point of view. Yeah. I'm interested, to read the rest of it, though, so I'm going to. You believe we should, when others are sounding off about their goals and their claims and their fervently held opinions, you hold your peace. When others strike out in a direction, you will willingly, in the service of harmony, modify your own objections. No, I'm going to stop reading there because this has started to lead into stuff I don't believe. Because I don't change my. I will. If I accidentally start to like agree, I'll usually follow up with okay in my like lack of understanding this completely.
Right. What's 32?
32. Restorative. Okay. You love to solve problems, whereas some are dismayed when they encounter yet another breakdown. You can be energized by it. I love to solve other people's problems.
Yes, but think of how frustrated you felt when your truck kept breaking
Yeah,
down.
yeah, yeah. Other people's problems. I do enjoy. I'll solve my problems, but I don't love to. I love to help other people come to a peace. So, with that sense, you may seek out specific kinds of problems that you have met many times before and that you are confident you can fix. Intellection. You like to think. All right.
Yeah,
Good there. You like to think. You like mental activity. You like exercising the muscles of your brain, stretching them in multiple directions. The need for mental activity may be focused. For example, you may be trying to solve a problem or develop an idea for it, or understand another person's feelings. The exact focus will depend on your other strengths. On the other hand, this mental activity may very well lack focus. The theme of intellection does not dictate what you are thinking about. It simply describes that you like to think.
You are the kind of person.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You're the kind of person who enjoys your time alone because it is your time for musing and reflection. You're introspective. I think so much by myself right now because my job forces me to. I can't drive for 8 hours and not at any point I can't just not think about something.
Right.
And usually it'll be stuff I'm working on, self-reflection. But if I'm home and everyone's gone, I'm not thinking about stuff. I'm usually only thinking about stuff because I'm just driving. When I'm here, I'll work on stuff or I'll play a game. If people are around me, I'll do that. So it makes sense that intellection is far down for me. Includer. Okay. I won't cry. This is not as hard for me as harmony.
Yeah.
But includer is also like, but it's just.
Did I literally say includer? Like,
Yeah, but that also goes to show you, like you said, I am well-rounded. And I'm surprised at how many colors are in my top 10, okay? It is very well-rounded. So the fact that this group of, like, what is blue?
Relationship
Building. Just because, includer isn't where is includer? Yeah, it is. Just because this is a group of things that I feel like I'm good at, but because I'm so well-rounded, and I have other things from other categories that are really important
Let's
too.
put it like this. So if look, you got.
I'm okay with it is what I'm saying, is because I would kind of rather have good, strong,
Well-roundedness.
in everything.
I think
than
you
just
have about 2 or 3 of every color in your top 10. In comparison, I only have 1 blue in my top 10.
Top 10, okay.
1 influence in my top 10.
That makes more sense.
And mostly green and purple.
I see green and purple in you. As much as I think you are good at teaching, as much as I know you want to be a teacher and help teach people, executing in green is definitely what I see more in you.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But stretch the circle wider. This is a philosophical. You know what? We don't have to read everything. I was just really curious about the harmony. So then we have belief.
Yeah, I kind of see that.
What is belief? Sorry, strong belief. You have certain core values and disvalues. Your beliefs can cause you to be family oriented.
You're not, like, you have your ethic. That's not to say, okay, if you're low on belief, don't take that personal, anybody. That's not to say that you don't have ethics. That's not to say that you don't, if you're religious, you don't believe in your religion. That's not what that is, if belief is low for you. It just means that is not the forethought of how you interact.
Yeah. So I understand where beliefs...
Well, like, for me, it's like, I think some people that know me might think that belief is really high because they know that ethics is really important to me.
But that's different.
But it's a belief, right? It's a belief.
My girlfriend, future wife, my girlfriend believes ethics are, I would say, very identical to mine. I mean, we're good people.
Yeah.
I hope. And our beliefs are very similar too.
Yeah.
our religions are very are very similar too. So it's like, but ethics are different than beliefs. You can believe something, but where your ethics come into play when they're really challenged, sometimes you don't know some of your ethics until they're challenged.
Yeah.
So you can
Oof,
believe
that's a good
something
one.
all you want. I think that they're different.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah,
It was
let's
good.
continue.
It was
Yeah.
good though.
I like that. Developer, see the potential in others very often, in fact. Cool. Input is 27, which is cool. Woo. I'm going to be honest. I put that as a number 10 for me because I didn't really understand everything.
Right.
Because I'm happy. I'm usually I'm talking in a more higher pitched voice. Like, you know me. You've known me for many, many years.
Yeah.
I'm usually, I don't have a low voice.
Yeah.
When I'm talking serious, it's more like this. But never lower. I can't go lower, okay?
Right.
But I'm usually excited enough or energetic enough or happy enough to where I'm talking faster, a little faster and a little higher. This is more my natural tone than this, even though this is my slower, calmer voice. And so that's why I was like, maybe Woo is 10 because I'm very happy right now. I've been very happy for a long time. There was a stress period a couple weeks ago, okay? But there was but I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I talk faster. This is my, so it's I thought Woo would be faster.
Well, it's not. Woo is not. It's more like you're
Winning others over. So we're talking about how much Woo do you have? You
Charm,
woo,
yeah.
I woo you.
Yeah.
Of course, not in a romantic level.
No, just you're charming. You're charming. Oh my god.
But yeah,
I love how you did that within 5 minutes of saying, hopefully my future wife.
I'm already cheating on you, babe.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry. But you knew.
Oh my god.
Okay. Okay. She's gonna watch this, I'm sure. So. She doesn't have to.
At least you're
know.
consistent. You have a type: Hispanic, black hair.
Hispanic, black hair. Yeah, I
yeah.
have my type.
Oh my god. Yeah, adult
we
seat
have
command.
teased. She's made the comment, and I've also made the comment. But she's made the comment that I think she's made the comment. One of us has that I was just looking for my female Jose. And,
I feel flattered by that.
Well, she doesn't.
Oh well.
Understandably
She needs
so.
to take it as a compliment.
Oh my god.
Oh, no, that's
I love
horrible.
you so much, babe.
No, you're great by yourself. As
Command. That makes sense. I'll do it if I need to, but I don't want to.
Well, I think that's why we have such a good relationship.
Yeah.
And even when we were in Boy Scouts together,
Yeah.
it was very adamant that. Yeah.
I've been calling myself beta for such a long time, but I'm starting to think beta. There's nothing wrong with being beta.
No.
What I mean when I say I'm beta is I'm more beta than alpha. I don't have, for instance.
You don't have a need to take charge.
Yeah, and I don't. It doesn't hurt my masculinity to not be alpha.
No.
But I have alpha. Crap. What am I thinking? I don't want to say I can be alpha, but I'd rather. I don't know where I'm going with the words.
The way
Tendencies, alpha tendencies is not the right thing.
Attributes.
Attributes, there we go.
Yeah.
I have alpha attributes that I will definitely use if I need to. And maybe you can say yeah to that.
Yeah.
You can bait it if you want, because I don't know, this is my opinion. But I would rather live with another beta who also has alpha attributes, thank you. Because I think it's easier. There's not one person trying to dominate or take control or always make the decisions. Rather, it's more communication. But we take our alpha attributual roles when we need to. But there's not as much of a need for it.
I will say command. The first time I took this was number 5 for me,
And that makes sense.
and now it's 12.
Which
and
I can also see because you've been working on some other attributes that are lesser.
yeah, that more empathy or just whatever. And
when I think, and I'm not saying 100% this is relatable, okay? But I think the less empathy you have, probably the more command, the higher your command
there's
will
a
be.
good.
And I don't
That's
know,
a good theory.
off of you and seeing how you've changed the more you've worked on empathy, and you're still not amazing at it, but you can see the difference from years ago.
I'm trying.
No, you can see the difference from years ago. And
Yeah.
that command, that alpha, that
Desire to
that
dominate.
you walk in the room and just everyone changes their, which you have that, your dad has that. You both have that aggressive bear or teddy bear, So it's like,
Well,
but your command has gone down because I think your empathy has gone up. But that's just a theory.
Well, if my empathy has gone up, it went for. I love it.
Okay.
If it's gone up, it's really sad because it's gone up by 1.
But your command has gone down by
7.
7. And does that not speak volumes for your empathy? If that can
there's
be
a connection.
relatable, if there's a connection.
And
I strongly think there is with you, at least.
For me, I feel like when I was younger, I think we talk about this all the time, that in life I'm going to achieve a leadership role.
Yeah.
Or that
Yeah,
my best roles are going to be in a leadership position.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, I maybe have tried to force that, and that's why command was stronger, maybe, or like
Okay.
it was more in my mind. Whether in the last 3 years, instead of trying to just make it happen, I have tried to just learn to trust the process and learn that I will get there when I get there, and the time will be right. And I think empathy, that there might, at least for me, there's a correlation as I've tried to work on more of my empathy, more like, does it matter how they get it done as long as it gets done? Does it matter, like, all that stuff? There's less of desire to control what people are doing. There's less of a desire to want people to, like, and as adopted a philosophy of more like adaptability being my lowest strength, as I'm trying to be more of go with the flow person, because dude, the smallest minute changes can really irritate my mood. So I've tried to adopt that personality of where like I'm trying to just learn to go with the flow and things like that. Command, I'm not surprised to drop 7. You have to let go of command to try to learn to be more empathetic. I think to try to learn to be more go with the flow kind of person.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy for me.
You pointed out now, and you've changed so much. There's enough of a difference for me to not remember that. That's not what I think of when I think of Old Jose, for instance.
Yeah.
I think of a more command for sure, but like not a I have to control how this is going to go. And like while I don't think it was a toxic kind of like I need to control this, there was definitely an obvious like I need to control it. I feel like probably you got it from your mom.
Yeah.
So
I bet if my mom took this test, command would be a top 5 for her.
for good or bad, your command is going down because you just want it done. You want it done right, but you understand, hey, it'll get done as long as it gets done.
And
you can guide people along the way.
It's a learning, like
And
life.
Maybe
It's a
somebody
learning.
doesn't understand or can't do it as good or as fast. Now your empathy is starting to come into play a little bit more. Instead of thinking, I'm not saying you would be, but instead of thinking, I understand this. Why the fuck aren't you getting this?
And in high school, I certainly was that person.
And my dad is like that too. And his empathy is also I would say lower. It's probably his empathy as oh my gosh, my dad has grown so much, especially through my childhood. You can see a distinct. We've talked about this a lot. A distinct old dad and a new dad. And new dad has a lot more empathy, but there is, and oh my goodness, the things that he's had to do recently teaching class, which, if you know my dad, is just hell. Okay, to have to deal with people who are stupid. Okay, and I'm using the term.
It's a little
not actually
mean-spirited.
stupid. Okay,
Yeah, but
they're not actually stupid.
they're not
but
fast
like,
learners.
But like, I grew up with my dad, so of course I'm like.
You need to learn. You should learn quickly. This isn't hard for you.
He will nail it in your head, okay?
Yeah.
There's a right way to sweep a floor. If you don't do it right, you do it again, okay? And it's like, and he doesn't babysit you, but like, man, he does not make it complicated.
Yeah.
Okay. But there are also times where it's like, I have misunderstood something because it wasn't. Okay, we don't need to get into that, okay? We don't get into that. But my point is that, yes, my dad, I whatever you just said that I've already forgotten, my dad relates.
Forgetful. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but no, for sure. And it's, I feel happier that my command's slower, because now that I've tried to, I'm still working on it. I think it's going to be empathy and adaptability. It's going to be an ever-growing
Oh, we were just talking
strength for
about
me.
empathy, yeah.
But as I've tried my best to learn to let go of things that are outside of my control, let go of the need to control things, grow my desire to empathize with people,
Yeah.
I'm a happier person for it. I really am.
I think it's interesting because the things that I've seen him have to learn and adapt to and grow in. It's not so much the need to control people where his empathy was. That's
Lacking.
what made his empathy where it was. It was more of like the not understanding what you have gone through and not being able to relate to that. And so it's not there.
Yeah.
And that's probably harsher than I mean to say it, but I don't know the words because I haven't really talked about this specifically a lot. But like, it's interesting to see that for each people's empathy, if it's lower, there's different reasons the empathy is where it is, and probably for higher too. But like, just between you and my dad, looking at you two, it's different reasons why your guys' empathy have been lower in the past.
And again, we don't know if your dad's empathy really is that low.
Maybe it's not. No, okay.
But we would make a
right
very
now,
educated guess.
educated guess. I would say it's
25 or lower.
It's 25 or lower for sure. It's not in the 25 or higher range anymore. When I was a kid, he wouldn't even argue this, and neither of us talk about anyone behind their backs that we wouldn't say to their face. So that I know I can say this and him not watching. Okay, anyway, I know when I was a kid, his empathy was 28 or lower, 30 or lower. It was
Low.
If your empathy is low, it was probably where you.
I mean, mine's 33, right?
But that just shows. I'd say 25 or higher now, but I really strongly feel like it's 23 or 22. And it's just a couple numbers, but like his empathy is, you can just see it. And his patience. And I think patience and empathy also have a little hand in hand to play.
Yeah.
And his patience has been changed dramatically too. Which is one of the reasons he couldn't teach people in the past. You know, it's just, patience was not there. I'm just saying my dad's grown. I'm seeing you grow too. I'm excited about that. I think it'd be great. I want to buy my dad this book now. I'm interested to see what those results would be. But anyway, let's continue. This is going along, but like I'm excited about it. Command, connectedness. We'll kind of breeze through these next ones because I think the most important ones to talk about was the top ones and the bottom ones.
Yeah.
Now we're getting to the medium ones. Positivity.
You're such a downer.
Okay.
My positivity is 31, so I have nothing to say.
You're generous with. Okay. Yep, there we go. I had to look though.
Yeah.
Analytical. Makes sense. Adaptability. I know where I'm good at adapting, but I know that I'm less adaptable than I should be. Deliberative. Let me look at that. You're careful, you're vigilant, you're a private person. You know that the world is an unpredictable place. Everything may seem in order, but beneath the surface. Okay, cool. I'm not arguing it, I was just interested.
Yeah.
17, arranger. 16, achiever.
Wait a minute,
For you, that was a surprise. For me, not a surprise. Learner.
Okay, so now the
This is
11 through 15 is that splash, that third color, right? It's the black in my Grixis, if you will.
Yeah.
You know that now because it was.
okay.
Yeah.
That's how you put it like that. I was just about to say I'm surprised Learner's as high up as it is, but when you said that third splash, okay. I want to.
You have your
Magic
top
so
five.
much.
You have your top
I'm
five,
not going
which is
to.
a color, and then you have your
Futuristic.
top 6 through
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
But then not the 11 through
The
15.
little
kind of
splash that helps.
the supporting roles, I would call.
We got futuristic. We got ideation, and we have competition. I'm
That's a lot.
surprised competition's so high up. 12 seems high to me.
I think maybe I artificially increased that number for you.
Yeah.
Significant. Oh, so I was a little. I was off by 2. I put it as 9 for you.
Okay. I am not. Okay, cool. The way you explain it through magic words, through the deck building I've been doing, makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And then for our number 10, we already have it. So that's really, it's so cool to like learn about. Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. Okay. Ideas for action.
Oh my goodness.
Use your harmony talents to build a network.
Good. That was good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still a little.
Mr. Don Cliffton. Hey, we're gonna have some words later. I'm still
A little.
a little.
Okay, but come on. The bottom half of that paragraph, you
It
were
made
like
so much sense.
you were
I'm
walking
like,
away.
No, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Which is why it's interesting because I'm so strong on the top few sentences, and then like the bottom sentences, I'm like, that has nothing to do with me.
You
like,
would
wipe
not.
my hands clean of
You
that.
wouldn't want to be that person.
I don't want to be that person.
And hence
But
why it's
I have the attributes of the important parts of that.
why it's 33 for you.
Yeah. All right. Oh my gosh, this has been
Good.
so fun.
A lot of fun. And then it's really cool to know your friend. Like, I almost want everyone to read this book because or you read it and then try to influence the people you love and care about the most in your life to read the book, because then it's like my best friend. Now that I know his strengths, how we play off each other, how we work with each other. Oh, shut
okay,
up.
But yeah. I mean, we already know that we been like
mesh
this
well.
since we met almost.
Yeah, we met as complete strangers in a dining hall of hundreds of people.
Oh yeah, you joined the scout troop after we got our eagles.
Yeah,
We met at the they just moved,
yeah,
and I never met them before. My mom and your mom hit it off.
yeah.
And it was them talking that made us even start talking.
Yep.
And then we hit it off before we even realized that you were going to be my troop.
Yeah.
Which, you know anything about scouts, especially like religious, like there's here,
Or
just like there's a multitude of.
Yeah.
It's just
Happy coincidence, man.
a happy coincidence.
Connectiveness. There is no coincidence.
Yeah.
It all comes for a reason.
Anyway.
That was a good show, folks.
Yeah. Are you ending my show?
I mean, as an activator, no, I could not.
Okay.
I could not.
Yeah.
No, good. I'm sorry.
You just
But-
need things to happen, okay?
Yeah.
I'll get it there.
I'm
I'll get
working
it
on
there.
it. We'll work on
And that's our show, folks.
it.